Hi class, it is 7 o'clock this morning and I've never made a video on the first try and I'm going to have to do that because I have to leave for my conference pretty soon. So this could be kind of ugly in spots, but I'm going to do my best. I made this slideshow last night starting at 6:47 p.m. and ending at 9:27 p.m. That does not include any video making time, so hopefully I can get this done on the first try. So the first thing, I looked over your comparing and contrasting statements that you did yesterday with a partner. Originally, I thought maybe you would do those independently, but the partner statements worked fine. I had a very small pile of students that I didn't feel like really got it, like you didn't, you're just kind of missing something. So very small pile though, like maybe 5 or 6 partners didn't quite have it. They did a nicer job comparing their own writing, because I think when you write something, you know exactly what it says versus reading other people's writing. So let's go over that real quick. Your paragraphs on those index cards should have been informational and factual writing. So those of you that wrote crazy stories, it's a little late to change that, but I'm pretty sure I told you it needed to be factual. So that kind of made it difficult for some of you to compare and contrast, because it kind of resulted in you saying things like, well, one person's stuff was fictional while the other person's writing was nonfiction. That's not what you're comparing. You should have only been commenting on the topic and the facts that they used to discuss that topic. So I know it was hard to not comment, like on, for instance, if somebody didn't write 5 sentences, how it was hard to not comment on that. Well, they wrote 1 sentence. Okay, anyway, enough is enough. So we are going to practice a little bit more with that today. And I've been thinking a lot about the real world and how does something like comparing and contrasting apply in the real world. So off the top of my head, one way that I personally and other adults and other non-adults, I suppose kids, use this skill of comparing and contrasting text written by different authors is to check sources to see if more than one person has found or emphasized the same facts. And you can see that my earth has cut off facts there, so it says tax, but that's supposed to be facts. When more than one person says something, you typically start believing it. Like if you read, 5 articles about whatever, and all 5 authors point out the same things, you're going to probably think that that's pretty credible or believable. So a couple areas where I know I do this is like medical issues. So if anything goes wrong with me, for instance, when my eye went blind, right, I instantly search on the internet, like what is wrong with me? What's happening? And I want to read as many articles or as many authors as I can, or websites for that matter, but authors write websites, to see if my eye's going to fall out or whatever. I want to see what the worst thing could happen, and then I want to see if other people repeat that terrible news. So it's kind of a way for me to pick out what's believable and what's not, and what's likely to happen or what it's likely to be and what it's not likely to be. Also, theories about things or news, like you hear about a news story and you want to check to see if other people have been reporting the same thing. Okay, more real world. To check out people's opinions, we compare and contrast, like, a couple people write an opinion on a movie, let's say, and you're wondering if you want to watch this movie. You read movie reviews, and you might read 4 movie reviews and to determine whether you want to watch that. And so you're kind of, in your head, you're comparing and contrasting, like, well, these 3 people said it was really good because of this, and this person says it's bad because of this. So do I really want to watch it? Customer reviews, we're going to get to that in just a second. And then, of course, in the real world, there are academic purposes. That's maybe my real world, people that go to school full-time or that teach in a college setting. That's my reality. I teach at a school, so I do this a lot. And you, right now, it's your real world. You're in school, so you do this too. And a lot of times we compare 2 pieces of text to determine the most important details. So if it's repeated in 5 different places, that's probably a key detail. And again, to determine what's reliable and what's not. Can we believe it or no? All right, so what you're going to do today is a little real world practice. So you can see on the left there is okay to wake versus kids sleep classic. So you're going to pause the video right here and you are going to pass out the printed copies of these reviews of these two products. Okay, so you should see that on one side of your paper you have two reviews that look like this, okay to wake and kids sleep. Now these are both, I'm going to flip back again, these are both positive customer reviews for these products. All right, let's actually rewind a little bit more. Why are you doing this? Well, first of all, Rory is getting an alarm clock for Christmas, whether she knows it or not, or whether she wants it or not, I should say. She doesn't need to know about it. She just, I don't know if she really wants one, but she's getting one. Because Rory likes to get up and come downstairs and interrupt my sleep on Saturday and Sunday mornings. And so I would like her to stay in bed quietly until it's time for her to get out of bed. These alarm clocks are made for that, okay? They let kids know when they're allowed to get out of their bed or call for mom or dad or whatever. So I think this is going to work out beautifully for Rory because she's all about being independent, and she'd really dig an alarm clock because she knows that we use them. So I'm trying to decide which alarm clock would be better for her or best for her. And so I picked these two. I kind of narrowed it down real quick. And I got on Amazon, and I do this in real life all the time. This is how I buy anything. I read customer reviews. I want to know what's great about it, what's not so great about it, how many people thought it was great, and what common thing did they all think was a positive versus what common thing do they all say is negative. If one person says something crazy is bad about it, but nobody else says that, I'm not really believing it. So that's comparing and contrasting. So let's go back to this. So one side of the page, you're having the two positive customer reviews for both products. Then on the other side of the page, you're going to read two negative reviews for the two products. Okay, so your job, and I have to kind of flip ahead here, your job is to read all four reviews. Yes, I know, it's some reading. That's okay. This is a reading skill. And you're going to end up writing 4 compare-contrast statements for each side of the paper. So 8 compare-contrast statements altogether. And you are going to look at the positives and compare those. And then you're going to flip the paper over and look at the negatives and compare those. And you need to do your best independent work on this. I don't plan to spend too much time on this skill, so you need to do your best while you have the opportunity to, so we can continue to move forward. I told you, the month of November, we don't spend a lot of time on things. We hit it hard and then we're done. So again, complete this. And on the reverse side, I believe you are going to be writing me a letter about which product you think I should buy. Do you think I should get the Okay to Wake, or do you think I should get the Kids Sleep Classic? And I want you to base your opinion on your compare-contrast statements. Which one do you think is better? Okay, and so you're going to share that with me in a letter. That letter should not only be 2 sentences long or 1 sentence. It should be pretty lengthy. So again, if you're doing your best work, you're filling up those lines and you're doing a nice job. Now that you've turned those in, can you think of ways that you would use this skill in your life? I want you to be thinking about that, because those of you that would like an opportunity to earn a 4 on this standard, I'm going to ask you to do that. Use this skill and show me how you used it and how did it work for you. Yesterday, I know you didn't have a lot of time to write in your writer's notebooks. So today, get them out, date them. It's okay if you didn't finish yesterday's. You might have time to go back today and do that. You're going to pause the video on today's prompt. It might be a little bit difficult to see, but it's basically a picture of the rear end of 2 vehicles. And you've all seen the little stick figures. Maybe some of your families have these little stick figures on the back of their cars. We do not. And we won't, but that's another issue. So on the left, you see a little family of stick figures, and on the right, you see 2 people and then a pile of money. And your job today is to explain why that's funny. Okay, I have exactly 34 seconds to deliver the rest of the instructions. Now what? You're done. There's still time left in class. You can watch Mr. Wasco's read aloud. It's on my website. You can create some notes for the figurative language that we've covered so far. Simile, metaphor, alliteration, personification. You're going to be having a test on that pretty soon. You can complete your spelling practice from Monday, because we're going to be going over that on Friday and it needs to be finished. You can finish or work on some of the writing prompts you've been doing the last 2 weeks, but that's cut off and you can't see it, but I just said it. So finish some of those writing. And lastly, a little idiom work. See ya.